This should be good. Alright. Welcome to Dark Souls 3. I know I said about a couple months ago, that I'd, play,
yes, indeed.
Dark Souls, not Dark Souls, Lethal Company the next day. But I got too lazy. I didn't do it. Now, we're playing Dark Souls 3. But hopefully, I'll actually do it. Hopefully this audio isn't too quiet, but too loud. Both audio from game and my voice, sorry. I'll be quiet.
Aldrich, saint of the deep. Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
That was one of the first times I ever actually watched that cutscene. That was pretty cool. But I have almost no clue what's going on in the story. I've never played. I've played a little bit of the original Dark Souls. I didn't get far in it. And I played a decent amount of this game, so I know what's happening. Like, I know how to play. So I won't be hot garbage. But I won't be good. I'm going to choose Class of Knight because it's easier. I'm going to choose Lifelink because I like it. I'm not going to change the appearance at all. Since we'll never see my face, since I usually never change out of the Knight armor when I play Knight. I did have an old save I recorded on, but it was an old save, so time for framey game. Bells toll. Anyways, it's always framey in the beginning for some reason. I don't understand why. I have everything on low graphics, I believe. I'm skipping this. I just come out of the grave. But it's not only framing on your side, but it's framing on my side. I hope you're not getting this bad of frames. Like, you're getting as bad as frames as I am. So you're not getting anything worse than what I'm feeling. So you shouldn't suffer through what I recorded with on my laptop. Being, it looked like hot garbage because it was hot garbage. Passion Estus Flask just gives you back your magic if you didn't know. Stab. Point. For most of this, I'll breeze through it. When I get to places I don't know, I'm just not good at, aka the World of Royale fight, the boss fight that's gonna come up, not the next boss fight, but the boss fight after that. I will not have fun with. I've never been good at it, even though I've passed it before. Looks like the frame's gotten better. Not too much better, but better. This is a beautiful place. Bring it, Crystal Lizard. I fought you as a mage. Doing mostly, I tried to dodge. Doing mostly melee hits, because they were faster. Like a dagger. In the beginning. You start with a dagger and the sorcerer build. The sorcerer preset. Class, whatever. Dodge. I was hoping, I'm thinking of a different weapon. I'm used to playing with broadsword. So I'm trying to do the heavy attack for the broadsword, which allows you to dash and snunt. I'm so trash at this game. I'm not doing a challenge run. So not a challenge run. The only challenge run that I think I'd ever be able to do is possibly beginner's equipment only. If I'm doing something like Knight, just because I'm so used to using this equipment, since in one of the farthest saves I've gotten in, like, I got super far in the game, and it's on another console, but on my computer, so I can't record it, but I'm pretty dang far. Dante words. I'm still only using the Knight Armor, Knight Shield, and not the straight sword. Not the long sword. It is a straight sword, though, obviously. Except when I use great sword, but I'm using the broadsword. I upgraded it to +6, I believe. Can't remember. Not very good memory, and it was. I've played it in like weeks, so not in my recent memories. I'm working on my computer save, where I do different stuff. Like I've tried a little bit of a sorcery build. A little bit amount of a sorcery build. My farthest save on here, though, is a surprise. Which made my fights so much fun. I don't have the good armor. I had to settle with bad armor. Especially with the boss that's coming out. I assume most people who clicked on this because they saw Dark Souls 3 already played this game because it's old. From 2016, I think. 2016, 2017, around there. That from the copyright. Of course, I forget that's not the broadsword heavy attack. If people don't know, broadsword heavy attack allows you to dash in and then swipe. It doesn't stab like the longsword does. I hope this isn't too quiet, but do you guys see that visual glitch over there? It's in the mountains. That's really funky. Also, I'm playing offline because my horrible frame rate, so I won't ever get invaded by like players or anything. No cool online stuff. No, I can't see blood stains, see how people die. I can get hints from players, so they mimic and whatever. So that kind of sucks. I'm stuck with the developer hints. So I don't get any online stuff. I can't play with friends. Because my computer, I guess, isn't equipped to handle this. Get stabbed! It sucks, but that's how it is. Alright, the spear guy. I've done this beginning so many times. I might be able to one-shot Gundyr or whatever. That's the name of the boss that's coming up. I like how... I think it's funky that we're so close with a Lothric castle. It's a little weird. We're super close to Lothric Castle. I'm pretty sure Lothric Castle is like an end game area. I've never gotten there. I'm not excited for any of the boss fights that I've done so far because I'm just not good at the game, like, at all. The beginning's probably gonna take me like 20 minutes. Around 20 minutes. Because I believe the last recording I did of this game, I wasn't playing night like I usually do. But it took me about 21 minutes, and that was just the beginning. Like the fight against Gundyr. I don't know if I was like sitting for 10 minutes, 10 minutes over in the screen messing with my character creation, or what. This whole video unedited because I don't know how to edit was 20 minutes, and it was just basically the fight with Ludic's Gundyr. aka this guy with the spiral sword stabbed in his heart. I believe that would be his heart. Anyways, I'm gonna use my belief. Shields are pretty much useless, except for blocking, because I can't parry. And I've done a sizable amount of damage on him already by just two-handed my attacks on him in the beginning. Big pokey, dang. Of course. Boom. Watch that. Big pokey in the butt. Super cool. Second phase gets chaotic. Shouldn't be that hard though. Only thing that might get me is lag and my horrible frame rate because I'm recording and playing the game at the same time. Oh, I better attack him. Dang, does he have damage reduction during that? I can't remember. Oh, get staggered. Oh, that was easier than I thought. One try. I thought it was going to take me a couple. No, I'm the ultimate person ever. How do I have 4,000 souls even before? Are those all the Gundator souls? Or what? No, those aren't even from the fight of Gundator. I just collected 4,000 souls. Oh, I know where the 4,000 souls came from. It was the fight with the from the crystal lizard. I'm pretty sure that mob, just normal enemies don't give you that many souls. They don't. It was, of course, from the crystal lizard that you're supposed to fight later in the game. You're not supposed to, but you can fight. It's more meant for later game players who went back to revisit the starting area. Because they remember there's an area that says, do not go here. And they're like, oh, probably should go here. They get confident. They go there. They fight the crystal lizard. And get the Titanites that it drops. It's the Titanite scale. That is used for soul I didn't even press that button. Transposed weapons. Since I don't have anything,
Welcome to the
do.
I the law to this end. Very well.
I don't really care what she says. To be honest, I'm gonna right my wrongs. Put into lock. I'm gonna put 1 into Dex. Because later, putting into Dex will actually be helpful.
Farewell, Ashen One.
Because I plan on once I get it's called the Sharpstone, I'm gonna infuse it to whatever weapon I'm using at the time. Unless it's a weapon that isn't sharp. Is that Lothric and Lorian's? Yeah. Lothric's throne. It's basically from what I think is going on, because I've watched a little bit of lore, Dark Souls lore videos of both 1 and 3, I think. Oh. I've done a little bit of lore on 3, a lot of it on lore for 1, since the lore is pretty consistent, even though the stories aren't tied together. Like, you could play Dark Souls 3 without knowing anything about Dark Souls 1 and still understand it a little bit. But, so from what I remember, every throne is for someone who was supposed to or tried to, almost everyone, at least, who tried to, did, but didn't work, tried to link the first flame, and they're all like Lords of Cinder. They're all important people who decided to try, either gave up or actually did it, but it didn't actually work. Because the giant guy that we saw are really important, I guess. Because like Abyss Watchers, I don't think tried. I can't remember though. They might have tried. Like Gundyr, he didn't ever become a chosen undead, so he just became a trial for the chosen undead. Lothric wasn't able to, but his brother Lorien could, because he was able-bodied and stuff, while Lothric was disabled. So they like combined to become one entity. Well, they're still technically two bodies, but they're twin princes now. And basically, they're like, we give up our birthright. We're not going to link the first flame. And we're going to watch it die out, because they got convinced to do that. But I'm going to take off all my clothes. I'm going to take my clothes off. Yes, they got convinced not to do it. The giant guy from the intro, he did do it, but since linking the first flame was kind of just tied to humans, not really any other race that exists, like a dragon couldn't do it. There are dragons, obviously. Like a dragon wouldn't be able to do it properly. Since the giant tried to do it, it kind of backfired and didn't work. So, yeah. I don't know anything about the skeleton guy that's sitting on a throne. I did not mean to judge against this, but it doesn't matter. Whoopsies, I accidentally parried. Didn't even touch that button. Anyway. So, like, everyone there is a Lord of Cinder. They tried or failed. Tried or failed. Or successfully did it for the but the giant's throne, right where the tip of my sword is, that's his throne. I think the Abyss Watcher throne is where my sword's pointing at now. Because I did not come here for that. Like, they were all, everyone who has a throne here was meant, I'm not pressing that button, were meant to, tried to, or did link the first flame. First flame basically keeps all light in the world existing. Made by a god, I guess. I think. Anyways, so, little lore that I'm thinking is correct. I might be wrong. Lothric is the son of the king named after the kingdom, Lothric. He's disabled, couldn't do it, but he became the same entity as Lorien, his elder brother, who was actually able-bodied. Now they're both disabled. They're twin princes, not princesses. This guy, Udlith, the exiled. I don't know anything about him. I guess he was just exiled. I guess. This throne, I was finding out earlier, is actually Saint Aldrich of the Deep throne. I was wrong. I think the throne with the swords to the right, which would actually be to the left of Lothric's throne, might be the Abyss Watcher's throne. Anyways, Saint Aldrich, he convinced Lorien and Lothric, not like him and some other people, decided to convince the princes not to link the first time because it was like from an alternate world or something. I don't know. Yeah, this is the Watchers of the Abyss. The Abyss is darkness. What humans in this world came from. And basically they got this cool little thingy. It's not cool. Called the dark side. Basically, it's what makes them immortal. So that they're immortal, they kind of need the light to stay for them to exist. So the Abyss is darkness, complete opposite, and people think, I guess, that if the darkness takes over, they die, because they think they're based in light, when they technically aren't. So they watch it, because it turns stuff evil, and they watch it, so it wouldn't, get people. Yorm, the giant, was giant. He linked the first flame. But, again, since it wasn't for giants to do, he failed. And it turned back against him. We are the chosen undead. We're meant to choose between either linking the first flame, continuing the arrow of light, or to not do that and let it burn out, or smother it. You can do that. Because to get rid of the flame, end the arrow of light, make an arrow of darkness. And this happens in 3 games. Except I don't know what happens with Dark Souls 2, because I haven't really played it. Because I don't think anyone I know owns it. I heard it's bad, and I'm not buying it. Also, I haven't really looked up any lore. Because each game takes place in a far-off land, usually. I think Dark Souls 1 and 3 are more interconnected than Dark Souls 2 and 1 are. 3 isn't really connected to 2 at all, except I believe in some DLC, maybe? There's an area from Dark Souls 3, I don't remember, but I think there's a little bit of Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, but there's way more hints and references to Dark Souls 1, the more favorited game, and Dark Souls 3 than 2. Yes. So what my plan is to get the next bonfire, stop recording. I won't record tomorrow, I won't make that promise, because I know I won't be able to, and I'll be gone on a trip without my computer. So, but maybe I can start doing Dark Souls 1, 2. Not 1, 2. Not 1 and 2. I'm talking 1 TOO. because hopefully I'll be able to buy it. Have someone buy it for me, actually. Out of the kindness of their heart. Otherwise, I won't be able to. It's just spent. I don't have money. I don't have a. That one hit them. I was not expecting that. Dead. I'm pretty sure there's a whole, like, enemy. Yeah, I'm 100% sure. There's a whole, enemy from Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3. I think they obviously operate differently since Dark Souls 3 has a different concept. Like, combat system. Like, it's very similar, but there are very key differences. Actually, one key difference. Durability is a little different, I think. And weapon art or whatever. Basically, what weapon arts are so before how spells worked were basically you had a limited cast, but in Dark Souls 3 they added in that blue meter, the I don't know what it's called meter, the FP meter. Stand for faith, probably not, since FP is determined by achievement. It could be faith points, probably not. Anyway, so FP is basically your magic meter. Also, it allows you to do weapon art stuff. So, when you either have a shield that has the weapon skill, weapon art, or when you're two-handing a weapon, you can hold down left trigger, or I don't remember what it is on PC, but you hold down a button. I don't remember what it is on a keyboard, but it's something. Play on controller. I feel like playing on controller is just way easier than playing on a keyboard. I've never seen anyone play on keyboard when they're playing cards. Oof. Anyways, that's like the main difference between Dark Souls 1 and 2. Between Dark Souls 1 and 3, also 2, because they did that. But the one thing that Dark Souls 3 doesn't have, it, I don't know if it was good, because I never played the game. Might be good, I don't know. That isn't in either Dark Souls 1 or 3 that 2 had, was hexes. Basically, dark magic. They were a combination of needing faith and needing intelligence to cast them properly. Which, that basically just got taken, those stat requirements just got taken over by pyromancy, which I don't believe before required anything. It just required you to have a pyromancy catalyst thing. Insta-kill. Nice. So that's the one thing that no other Dark Souls game has, that Dark Souls 2 has, besides the stat Besides, is the most enraging stat. Adaptability, I believe it was. I believe adaptability would change your invincibility frames for rolling. So it made everything so hard to do because you had to remember, oh, I gotta dump some points into adaptability. And I don't think it did anything else. Didn't do nothing else. Now I could be wrong, because I never played the game. But if there was just a stat that affected my invincibility frame, I'd be so angry. I wonder what would happen if you just dumped into adaptability. Like every stat point you use just goes into adaptability. Okay. The most annoying guy they have out there is that guy. And the one thing that sucks is back in Dark Souls 1, so I had humanity instead of embers, which acted almost the same. Very similar. Very, very similar. Embers and humanities acted almost the same when you died, but you could also stack them, unlike embers. But when you died, you could recollect them. But now, with embers, Dark Souls 3, that's not how it works. You can't recollect your ember and get back your extra HP. You have to use another one. Which kind of sucks, because I usually use them, because I'm always offline. I usually use them for boss fights. So I have to keep them stocked up. And Dark Souls 1 has a very stark, it's very different from Dark Souls 3 with, how linear the game is. In Dark Souls 1, you could have gone from the beginning to somewhere where it was essentially just endgame. With it wouldn't necessarily be endgame. With beginner stats. Without leveling up once. Now you'd have the option to level up. Because Dark Souls 1, once you get out of the beginning area, you fight the beginning boss, you get to Violent Shrine. Technically, you could get to anywhere in the game besides two places, which were Anor Londo. So that was, you had to fight a boss. You had to ring 2 bells for. But you could get to end game areas. I think you could get to some of the end game boss areas. You would be able to get to them. You could get to a lot of stuff by just scrolling. But well, Dark Souls 3 is way linear. It's not open like Dark Souls 1 was. It's way linear, especially since you can, at the beginning, travel anywhere you want to go. And since the shrine is separated from the high wall, since almost everything is separate, like, things get separated, like, the Cemetery of Ash, high wall, separated, and since you can instantly travel, unlike in Dark Souls 1, everything feels way more linear, less open than it actually is, because it's kind of open. It's less open than Dark Souls 1, but it's more open, I'd say. Anyways, see you next time. I might play Dark Souls. I might play, um, whatever it's called, Lethal Company. See you next time. Have a great day, or night, or afternoon, whenever you're watching.